Hey there yogis, welcome to this practice for the feet and the legs. It's a nice practice to do if you have been on your feet all day or if the opposite is true and you've been sitting in a chair and haven't done a lot with your feet all day, because we're stretching and strengthening the feet. So just mobilizing the feet, making them more active, also more steady. I have blocks and a strap nearby. If you have them at home, please go grab them, and we're going to use them in the class. And we will start today seated. So that's actually my first option with the blocks. If you know that it's challenging to sit with the feet forward, you can always sit on a block. So you could sit on one or even two blocks here, and it does of course make a difference for the lower back. Sometimes if we're seated on the floor, the lower back will round like this, so lifting the hips will just give us a little bit extra space. So you have that as an option. Wherever you are, we're just going to start by pointing and flexing the feet. So first, little circles with the feet, and then really focus pointing and flexing. So we're going to point, 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 point. And here I'm even like squeezing my toes. So I'm really squeezing, curling the toes, pulling so hard that the top of my feet are stretching. And then as I pull my toes back, I'm going to spread my toes like fingers and really pull, 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 pull. So really working the feet like their hands. Point and really curl. Curl, and then flex, pull them back, spread the toes. Point, 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 curl, grip. And then pull them back, flex. Try to keep your back straight, even though you're really focused on the feet, so spreading the toes. A few more times. Point, 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 squeeze. Flex, flex, flex. Spread the toes, and last time, curl the toes under, and pull them back. So then we'll work one foot at a time the outside of the ankle. Most of us have a tendency to pronate the foot a little bit, so to roll this way. So many of us will feel that this doesn't stretch as much, but in any case, this will be the easier stretch to work with. So I'm rotating my foot. It's like a spiral line. So I'm pulling the outside edge, pinky edge of the foot. And then this inside of the ankle becomes shorter. So, and then I can even, as long as it's okay for your knee, if you have a knee problem, you're going to skip this one. You could even just bring the knee toward the floor. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we're going to do the opposite, which for most people is a little bit stronger. So you're going to hold the ankle and try to really pull the foot the opposite way. So now, just give me a little bit stronger, like the big toe. Right. So then you're going to pull, 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 pull. This is also like a twisting motion for the foot, so I'm pressing down before it was the outer edge, now inside edge of the foot. And maybe I can place the toe on the floor and try to make this sort of diagonal longer, so you could even use your hands to push the big toe into the floor and pull with the heel, so you feel there's like a twisting almost in the foot. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5, and then switch, so you can shake out the feet. So then other side, we're pulling the foot in. Could also do this on a chair, so if sitting on the floor is not comfortable, you can easily do this in a chair, I think. So I'm stretching the outer ankle. I'm really twisting, twisting, twisting. Here I can really press my thumb into the joint of the big toe, or use my fingers. So you'll see what's more comfortable for your foot and your hand, but we're really stretching the outside of the ankle here. Maybe even starting to use our leg muscle a little bit more. I think some of you from the advanced classes will recognize that the binding movements that come through yoga, they really depend a lot on the mobility of the ankle. So anytime we're reaching around and catching the foot has a lot to do with the joints in the ankle. You might be surprised to know that in Hatha yoga, the most advanced yogis have super flexible feet more than anything. People always think about like putting the legs behind the head, but they really focus on the smaller joints, the wrists and the ankles. They said that was really the secret to longevity, was keeping these smaller joints healthy. And that by improving the mobility in the ankles and wrists, you can improve mobility through the whole body. So we're going to really work this spiral line now. So so now I'm pulling the big toe in, lifting the outer edge, pressing the toe down, and now I'm really going to work. So I'm using both hands to really twist the foot a little bit. I mean, it will only twist a little bit, but just for that feeling that you're pushing the foot down and twisting. So here I'm bringing the heel in. Hope you can see in. This is out. So I'm bringing it in. So lifting, 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 pressing the big toe down. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. Okay. So now we're going to reach for our blocks. You might not need them, but you can always start with them, right? So we're going to bring the right foot forward. And this is our lunge, but we're really interested in how the foot works. I think in these poses we often become so interested in how the legs are working that we forget the feet. The feet are a key component in these poses. So I'm going to do it without the blocks just so you can see. You can always use the blocks for support as you need to. So I'm going here, I'm leaning in the foot, not too low. And as I pull back, I want to really use the foot like a suction cup. So now my toes have to squeeze, kind of the same way we did when we were clawing the toes. They have to really squeeze, and I'm not going to lift the toes. So I'm going to pull my hip back, and I'm going to use the foot like a suction cup. Yeah. And then shift forward. So pull back, and now the toes really have to grip. So I'm strengthening the arches of the foot. Grip, 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 grip. And then back. So pull. Yeah. Imagine your feet are like your hands there. I'm gonna grab something. A few more times. Pull, 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 pull. And you'll feel all sorts of things when you just focus the movement like this. You'll pull back, grip the foot, and the ankle is working harder. You become aware of the arches of the feet. Pull, pull, pull. Okay, and then we'll just switch feet. So I'm going to bring my left foot forward. Sort of find my range of motion here with the placement of the foot. So I'm coming low. So my weight is really shifting forward, and then pulling back and release, making the toes work. So that as I come back, the toes have to work as hard as they can to stay on the mat. They can't lift, they have to stay on the mat. So shift forward, and then pull. Shift, and pull. And forward. So do this a few more times, and really just fight for it. It's a short class. Really fight for it. See how much work you can get in the toes and the top of the foot. will be our last time. Really squeeze, grab, grab, grab with those toes. Okay. And then we will bring our toes to the flat floor. Toes to the floor. So we're going to stretch the toes, and I'll give this options. If you have a knee problem, it will be better to keep the knees off the floor. Or if your feet are just really sensitive, this can be a strong stretch. So you're going to spread the toes. You can even use your fingers if you have like curly toes. So you're going to spread the toes and slowly drop the knees toward the mat. So some of you will be all the way here. It will be intense, but you can do it. For some of you, that's too much. So you'll keep the knees lifted. You have the blocks for balance. Or even if the stretch is too much in the big toe, this is a better option for you. So we're holding for about 1 minute. And the best stretch is one where you feel the difference, but you can still breathe deeply. If you're like getting nervous, the therapeutic value is usually gone. So a few more deep breaths. Okay, so come up. You can just shake out the feet a little bit here. And then our next pose is for the back of the legs. So you can bring the block forward. I hope this is clear. So I'm bringing the toes to the block and I'm leaving actually a bit of space. So the feet would almost be angled like this, but not that much. So I'm bringing the toes here. Most adults, so many of us stand like this, like this. So, this will already feel like we're really spinning the legs in a lot, which is good. So we've already done a lot of work for the toes. So the toes should be nice and flat. And we're going to keep this soft. You can bend the knees a little bit. We just want to work on the alignment of the feet. If you need a block, some of you have very long legs, you can always try to use a block. And we're just going to bend and stretch the legs. And then a few times, inhale, come halfway up, so the back is parallel with the floor, and exhale, fold over the legs. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. 2 more times. Inhale, sliding up. Exhale over. Inhale. And exhale. And then we'll make our way onto the back. This is where you will need a strap. Ideally, if you don't have one, there are ways around that. But we'll just come onto the back. So I'm going to bring my strap around the foot. So often I tell you to bring it under the big toe. Today we want to work the toes a little bit more, so we're going to bring the strap over the toes to begin. Holding the strap here. So first point, point, point. So I'm pressing the toes into the strap as much as I can, and then pulling back. So I really involve the toes. If the strap slips off, you just put it back on. So point, 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 press into the strap, and then pull back. And really work the big toe. The big toe will be fighting you the most. So press, stretch. Okay, so the last one, pull. If your strap stays on the toes, then keep it like this. So we really want to initiate this flexing motion from the toes. If it's slipping off, so if you can't keep it there, then you can bring the strap lower, no problem. But keep that flexion coming from the toes here. So we're kicking the leg. Don't forget about the rest of the leg. So this leg is working hard. And the same way, our toes were like coming into the block. Will they do that here? Not too much, right? But just a little bit. So we feel here that it's not just the foot, it's also the whole leg. So this is coming from the hip. Toes, knee, hip working together. Okay, so toes straight or even a little bit in. And now the left leg is going to come out. If you need to keep it bent, you keep it bent. So don't worry about how straight it is. And we're going to rotate the bottom leg quite a bit more. So we're going to rotate it out, as long as you're not tipping to the side, and then toes back up. So here I'm pointing the toes toward the camera, and then back up. 5 times. Okay, so now everything here as we hold should be coming toward the center. So right leg and left leg are both coming toward the center, and from there you can really press out with both feet and the toes. If you want to keep your left foot on the floor, that's also fine. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And then we will switch. So you can just shake out the legs. And then the other side. So you're bringing the strap onto the left toes. And so making those toes work. So pressing the toes into the strap. You know, in previous countries, I have said this is like, you know, Barbie. So a Barbie doll, her toes. And in Belgium, nobody understood the reference. And then I felt like this is a very feminist country, that nobody remembers that Barbie's feet are like this shape all the time. So a few more times, and we feel all of the pieces of the foot, right? That the more we mobilize the toes, the more we mobilize the ankle. So then if you can keep your toes here and your leg is straight, fine. If the strap is slipping, you can bring the strap here. So, bring the foot lower. If the knee is bending a lot, just bring the foot lower. And then the bottom leg, so again, it could be quite bent, and it could be quite straight. Not so important. We're just interested in the rotation of the leg. So here I'm rotating the pinky out, and my knee bends even more actually. So we feel if our legs are pulling in the center, it's easier to keep them straighter normally. So rotate out. 2 more. So 1, 2, pull everything in, and press out through the feet. 1, 2, 3, 4, and 5. So it was really that simple, but I hope you feel a difference in the legs. And to end, we'll just bring the feet in and out. So in and out. And then maybe take the feet a bit wider, because you feel actually the whole hip as well has a bit more space. And you can just rest for a few moments in Shavasana. The reward is always resting, so even after a very gentle practice, really allow yourself some moments of total stillness and total experience to feel the shift of what we did through actually just a few simple exercises, the change of the feeling in the body, the quality. Deep inhale through the nose and exhale. Relax the arms, relax the legs. Allow the head to rest. Face to relax. Let the whole body feels still and also light. And stay here as long as you like. Thank you for your practice. Namaste.